Hello, my dear students. I am Sridevi English CRT from KGBV Rudrangi. Once again, I welcome to my session. In this session, I am going to take Unit 1, C Reading, The New Blue Dress. Now, children, look at here. Here is the picture which is there in your textbook regarding the lesson. Have you ever received any presentation from teacher? I hope you have. So in this lesson, a girl received a new blue dress from her teacher, and that makes a great social change in the street of Gates Avenue. Now before going to start our lesson, let's look over the glossary which is there in page number 21. Running water. Water coming from the main supply when taps are turned on. Pavement, footpath. Excitement, strong feeling. Amazed, filled with great wonder. Decent, respectable. Community, people living in the same locality who are considered as a unit, organized to arrange or to make preparation. Campaigns, series of planned activities to do something. Now coming to the C reading, The New Blue Dress. Here the new blue dress is a motivational story. It also tells us that how the good manners that affects on the behavior of the people. Now coming to our story. When spring came to the city of Cleveland in 1909, it did not change Gates Avenue. People who lived on the pretty streets near Gates Avenue were making gardens and painting their houses, but Gates Avenue continued to look dirty and ugly. Here in this para, the season spring is mentioned. Here spring means it is the new beginning. In the season, the flowers start to bloom. The birds bring a wonderful soundtrack. The earth seems to come to the life again. So we can see a beautiful and wonderful environment at the time of the spring. So normally in some countries or in some places, people want to celebrate the arrival of the spring. Here in the city of Cleveland, the people want to celebrate the arrival of the spring, so they were started painting their houses and making gardens, but the Gates Avenue continued to look dirty and ugly, means it did not change. Gates Avenue was a short street, but it seemed longer because it was so ugly. Most of the families who lived there had very little money. They never expected to have any more. Here, families who lived in the street of Gates Avenue, they were very poor. Here the word seemed tells at the appearance of the street. Here the street looks dirty and ugly, and the people are very poor, so they never expected to have any more. Now coming to the next para in page number 20. Their houses had not been painted for many years, and they did not even have running water. The street itself was ugly too. There was no pavement, there was no street light, and the railroad at the end of the Gates Avenue added noise and dirt. In the previous paragraph, we were discussed about that the people or the families who lived in the Gates Avenue were very poor. So they never expected any more. That is, their houses had not been painted for many years and they did not even have running water. They never thought of to paint their houses and they did not even have the running water, means supply of water, tap water. And the street itself was ugly too, very bad. They never thought of cleaning the street. There was no pavement. There was no pavement. Here the pavement is footpath. There was no street light. And the railroad at the end of the Gates Avenue added noise and that. The railway track near the Gates Avenue, it added more sound and noise. Now next para. The other girls in the school near Gates Avenue wore new and pretty clothes that spring, but the little girl from Gates Avenue still wore the dirty dress that she had worn all winter. Probably that was the only dress she owned. Here in this para, the other girls who are coming near from Gates Avenue, they wore pretty dresses in the spring season. But here the girl from the Gates Avenue still wore the dirty dress that she had worn all the winter. All the winter she has used the same dress. Now in the spring season also she wore the same dress. She wore the same dress. And probably that was the only dress she owned. Here the probably means the fact that that is the only dress she owned or she have. Next para. Her teacher was unhappy. The little girl was so nice. She always worked hard in school. She was always friendly and polite. Her face was dirty and her hair was untidy, but anyone could see that she was pretty under the dirt. Now coming to this para, here the teacher was not happy. Unhappy means not happy. Why? Because the little girl from the Gates Avenue wore the dirty dress. And the little girl was so nice, means very beautiful. She always worked very hard and she always friendly and polite. She had all good manners, but she wore the dirty dress all the winter. Her face was dirty and her hair was untidy. But anyone could see that she was pretty under the dirt. Her face was very dirty and her hair was untidy, means not clean. But even though she looked very beautiful, she was very pretty under the dirt. Okay? Now next. One day the teacher said, "Won't you wash your face before you come to school tomorrow morning? Please do that just for me." Here the teacher said to the little girl that to wash her face before she come to the school next morning. The next morning, the child's pretty face was clean and her hair tidy. Before the little girl went home that afternoon, the teacher said, "Now dear, please ask your mother to wash your dress." Next morning, the teacher observed the child's pretty face. Her face was clean and her hair was tidy, that is neat and clean. So the teacher was very happy, and before she leaves to home in that afternoon, again the teacher said to the little girl that to ask her mother to wash her dress so that she can look more beautiful. Next para. But the girl continued to wear the same dirty dress. Her mother is probably not interested in her, the teacher thought. So she bought a bright blue dress and gave it to the little girl. The child took the gift eagerly and rushed home. Here, the teacher asked the girl to request her mother to wash the dress. But the next morning, the girl continued to wear the same dirty dress. So the teacher thought that her mother is not interested in her. So she bought a bright blue dress and gave it to the little girl as a present. So the child took the gift eagerly and rushed home. Here the child was very happy. She took the gift very eagerly and rushed home.